Hey, welcome to my presentation on how to get leaner in 30 days and feel good about yourself in 2024. I'm Dave Morrow, and I'm a Canadian Armed Forces veteran, and I've devoted my life to helping 100,000 veterans lose 2 million pounds. And if you're listening to this, you could be one of those veterans on that list. So I'm going to give you a precise, exact, detailed training on how to actually lose weight this year. And at the end of it, I want you to come join our challenge. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time here. If you could lose belly fat, gain energy, and still have steaks, pizza, and beer, would you take that offer? Would you want to listen to what I have to say if I'm putting that on the table? You'd likely say, man, I don't know what you're talking about, Dave. You're clearly a warlock. Get this witchcraft out of here. But this is what we're going to talk about today. There's no witchcraft involved, just bloody hard work. Here is the thing, folks. We've got some issues. The main issues are that 88% of us are metabolically broken. That's across the board. A North American study showed that. That's not good. It means that we have one of the following: obesity, high blood pressure, high triglycerides, high blood glucose. If you have any of those, you're metabolically broken. We need to fix that. 84% of us don't get the bare minimum activity every day, which is essentially 20 minutes of activity. And 95% of dieters put more weight back on after 2 years. These are just cold, hard facts. Probably the worst of all, though, is that fat dads and fat moms too, but specifically fat dads, have a direct correlation to creating fat sons and daughters. This isn't a good thing because, as we know, obesity is a disease and it's setting your children up for an early death sentence. Having a fat dad made a child 4 times more likely to be obese at age 8. All the things that result from this, type 2 diabetes being one of the main ones, are exploding right now. We want to put a dent in that. It's possible too, because of this data and this trend, that our generation, so my kids and our kids, the next generation coming up, the Gen Zers, may have a shorter lifespan than our generation for the first time in a very long time. Specifically for veterans, I think we're the next greatest generation. There's not a lot of us, but we had a huge impact. We fought a lot of wars over the last 20 years. But here's the thing. Recent veterans are more obese than general population. We're more inactive. There's a whole host of reasons, including injuries, that can account for that. But I want to address that head on. On top of that, we have way higher rates of chronic pain, surprise, surprise, and have higher rates of mental illness. So this challenge, this 30 to lean challenge, is going to address these things head on. So stay tuned. This training is for you if you are an overweight veteran. You don't want to add weight this holiday season, which is typically where we get into trouble and we never lose it again. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired and fat, and you're frustrated with not being fit anymore. A lot of us were high-speed, door-kicking machines, and then we retire, and that's no longer the case, and our ego gets affected. But there's a way forward. It's how to get leaner in 30 days using my 30 to lean method. This is how we're going to do this. This is how we're going to get fitter, and this is how we're going to start losing weight and keeping it off. So my goal for this training is really straightforward. I'm going to give you the exact weight loss protocol that will guarantee you to lose weight before the end of the holiday season. So if you take this and run with it, maybe even literally, good for you. This is what I want. Show how you can lose weight and how it actually works. And lastly, convince you to change your weight loss paradigm away from calories in, calories out. I want you to essentially be like Candace. Candace is a rock star. She started her journey on the 30 to lean challenge, and she's literally becoming an Ironman as we speak. In this quote here, she's down to 223. She started in the 240s, and she's below 200 now. Just think of that as we go through this training. So if you're wondering who I am, well, I'm Dave, and I've done a few things in my life that have brought a lot of pride to me, but also I've really seen the most amount of fulfillment helping the veteran population. And this was all by accident, okay? And ultimately, what I've been able to accomplish in the last 5 years, I couldn't have imagined if I were still doing what I was doing, which was essentially a high school science and math teacher. But I decided to take the leap and decided to take a real big risk and it's paid off in spades, and I couldn't be happier. So you can find out more at davemorrow.net. So long story short, this is me in Afghanistan. King of the world, lying on the savannah, kicking ass, taking names. And I thought this was going to be it. I thought this was going to be my career. I thought I was going to live a happy, fulfilled infantry sergeant's life, but this wasn't the case. I got injured overseas. I hurt my back and my knee. That led me down the path of prescription pills and eating like a dummy based off our food pyramid that was supposed to be the way forward. And what happened was I fell into this trap. I wanted to start losing weight, but I was kind of hurt. I didn't know what to do. So I started doing a lot of CrossFit. I really loved it. Don't get me wrong. So I hit the CrossFit gym like 5 times a week, really getting after it, eating paleo. I thought I was going to get really lean and fit, but you know what turned out? I looked like this. This doesn't look good. This isn't what I wanted. And Dwight Schrute would agree. Shameful, right? But I thought I was doing all the right things, so this was extremely frustrating for me. But then I decided to work with my own coach and teach myself about nutrition, movement, and how my body actually works and how to actually lose body fat. And that's when things started to change. So I learned the hard lesson that I'm not an elite athlete. Like, I'm not my 25-year-old self anymore. So that was my first hard pill to swallow. And that meant I had to reduce the amount of volume I was doing. I had to stop doing such heavy weight. I had to stop doing such high intensity training all the time. I'm getting older, in my late 30s, moving into my 40s. I couldn't keep on doing this anymore. And then eating quote unquote clean and hitting my macros is great. Don't get me wrong. But it also requires a little bit more nuance. I had to come up with a system that was flexible with my professional schedule and my family schedule so that I wasn't always weighing my food and worrying about the thing I'm going to eat at dinner with my wife. So I learned I could eat a lot of the foods that I like pizza and beer, and not develop an eating disorder around it and still lose weight. But also, how do I manage stress? These are all important concepts when you're a very busy individual like myself. So how could I perform better on all levels by combining some simple biohacks? And this all came together, and I was able to crush a ton of my goals. Here on the left is me completing the Ironman, which was a massive accomplishment for me. I was really proud of being able to accomplish that. The Spartan Beast in the middle, and then CrossFit Opens on the far right. And these were all things that, upon my medical release from the military, I was not supposed to be able to do. What essentially came down to is that I developed a health and PT system that drives consistent results. So inconsistency goes out the window, consistency comes in. And I'm now able to train and eat and enjoy my life on my terms without having to worry about gaining weight, chronic pain, or my physical limitations. And I'm going to show you how to lose weight easily in this training and keep it off during the holiday season. And then we're going to get into this right now. So buckle up. So here we go. What I'm going to teach you today are 3 simple things. So get those FMP pads out, get a pen and paper, get your pen out, get your paper, pencil out, and you're going to get into these main 3 topics here. Why consistency is king. No, that's not a spelling mistake. I'm using a K for a reason. The most effective PT workout and the easiest way to lose weight. So let's get right into it. After 5 years of working with veterans, okay, from soup to nuts, moms, dads, you name it, individuals that want to go on selection, there's a few key things that I've noticed. Those that want to lose weight and get strong and regain their feelings of being, fired up, I noticed a pattern occurring, and we had to establish the basics, right? Like, do you exercise daily? Do you know how much you should eat in a day? Do you know what exercises are good for your specific goals? Have you sorted out any lingering chronic pain issues? Are you well hydrated, and are you getting enough sleep? These were always coming up as barriers to thriving. So I just decided to come up with a new SOP, which I called the 30 to Lean Challenge. And that's why you're listening to this presentation right now. So essentially, you need to commit, you need to move, and you need to shut your mouth. I think it's pretty clear what we're getting after on this one. So let's get into the science and let's get some education on the topic here. So let's start with consistency is king. Consistency is king because this graph shows here, this exponential improvement is based on improving 1% better a day. Okay, 1% worse a day, you see there's a regression. But if you improve just a little bit every day, the compounded gains add up. The wisdom, So this is a quote from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. I highly recommend that you read it. If you want to be in the top 1% of a particular domain, then you can't take your cues from and follow the social norms of 99% of people. All right. So start from there. If other people and everybody else is doing one thing, it's likely that you have to do the opposite if you want a different desired result. And greatness is consistency. Meditating once is common. Meditating daily is rare. Exercising today is simple, but training every week is simply remarkable. Again, this is from James Clear's book. So he boils it down really simply. Oops, let's go back there. You need to do more of what works. Essentially, if you see improvement, keep doing it. Avoid tiny losses. So therefore, tiny losses build up. Don't let them happen. You missed the exercising one day, that's okay. You're human. Don't let it happen twice. And measure backwards. What is your ultimate goal? And then how are you going to get there? This is mission planning. We understand this in the military. Well, apply it to your life and apply it to weight loss, and you'll have massive success. So if we move forward and we look at the most effective PT workout, well, you guys aren't going to like me on this because you guys have probably heard a bunch of different stuff, but it's consistency at literally doing anything over a great period of time. So you need more consistency and less intensity. A great term I've learned from Pavel Tsatsouline, kettlebell king from Russia, is called greasing the groove. You do enough every day, but you consistently apply it, whether it's kettlebell swings, whether it's walking, whether it's push-ups, it doesn't matter. It needs to be consistent, and it needs to be for 20 minutes a day. Constant HIIT, so high intensity training, is super stressful on the central nervous system and not good for fat loss. For mere mortals like ourselves, not CrossFit Games athletes, we don't need to be doing high intensity all the time. A little bit is great, but too much is too much stress. The best workout is the one you can reliably perform on any day for 20 minutes, period. Whether you're sick, whether you're on vacation, whether you're at home, it doesn't matter. If you can do it for 20 minutes every day, you're good. Missing one day is normal. Missing 2 days is a new habit. This is the concept that I just mentioned. Avoid tiny losses. Okay. So this is the wisdom behind greasing the groove. Okay. And being super consistent. The easiest way to not gain weight over this holiday season, I'm going to break it down to you guys. There's a few things that you can do, but the simplest is that your current weight loss model is probably broken. You've probably thought, well, if I just eat less and do more, I'll lose weight. But how's that working out for you? There's something clearly not working, or you wouldn't be listening to this presentation. Everyone can lose body fat. That's a guarantee. Even you. Guaranteed. It's not that you're big boned. It's not that you're fat as a kid. These aren't the issues, okay? There's something broken with your model. We need to fix it. Fasting is one of the simplest ways to start the process of breaking your model and establishing a new one. So this is probably the most important non-activity you're not doing, which is essentially the shut your mouth portion and not eating. Counting calories and restricting calories sucks. But I'll caveat that. There is a time and place, especially starting out, for you to understand how many calories you need and how much of your macronutrients you need, especially protein, in order to establish a fundamental baseline of nutrition. Okay, so one concept that I like to apply is no feast without famine. And before you get into long-term fasts and just applying fasting as a general rule, one of the most important things that you can do is stop snacking. If you can just eat 3 square a day and put nothing in between, nothing at night after you're done eating, nothing in between lunch and supper, nothing in between breakfast and lunch, you will see an improvement in your health, especially if you've not established a discipline to eat at regular intervals. This is the main thing that we're going to learn on this challenge. So if there's questions, write them down. I love to hear them. Email me, join my community, whatever you need to do, start asking questions, but start pondering these things that I just went over. And let's just recap. IF, meaning intermittent fasting, is simply a method of eating that may closely mimic our ancestral eating patterns by imposing longer periods of little or no food. Regular, consistent PT, so physical training, is more beneficial than sporadic bouts of high-intensity work. Guaranteed. Consistency is king. And be 1% better every day. That's all you have to do. So are you going to implement now? You've learned this. This seems simple enough, I hope, but are you going to implement? You have a decision to make, right? So I invite you to the challenge. Now that you've learned the gist of what's going on here, it's nothing out of your wheelhouse. Literally everybody can do this. So let's get into some of the testimonials of the folks that have gone through this challenge. So I'll start with Donnie. Donnie from Newfoundland crushed it. One of the first cohorts through this challenge. He's a veteran. He's a dad. He wanted to do more hikes with his wife and lose more weight. He's actually lost way more than 16 pounds. This is him along his journey. He's absolutely dominated his weight loss journey, but also his health journey. So he's been able to do the hikes with his wife numerous times. His quality of life has gone way up. And all it took was just him adopting a new model and starting out with a 30-day challenge, which is the one we're talking about here, the 30 to lean. And then we have another success story, Paula. She started the 30 to lean challenge, lost 11 pounds in 30 days. And she said it wasn't that bad, managed to lose 11 pounds. She's a veteran as well, and just wanted to look and feel better. And this was it. It was just, hey, I just wanted to lose like 10 pounds. She lost 11 and then was able to keep it off. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Dave's a veteran and he's a police officer. Sciatica was really holding him back. On this challenge, we learned a little bit of everything. So we started applying some of the basic concepts for mobility. And then a few months down the road, he kept on working with me and we kept on developing his plan. And he was able to completely eliminate his sciatica. He was able to get back in the gym. And now he's running half marathons, lifting more in the gym. He's getting stronger and he got promoted at work. Go figure, right? And Sean's a veteran and he's a school teacher. Poor discipline at night. That was his biggest issue. He just learned that eating at night is a bad thing to do. So he just backfilled his day with more food during the day. And he went on to lose 20 pounds. Now, this was over and above the weight that he lost on the 30 lean, where he lost 7 pounds. We just kept on working together, and then he lost even more weight. With some simple adjustments to his paradigm, we were able to get him down 20 pounds, and he's happier for it. Sonia was just able to layer in more good habits. She's a very active veteran, which is awesome. She loves to run. And this challenge just built in more information for her to leverage to make her healthier and to do even more events in the future. And then Daryl is pretty impressive, I have to say. Over the last year and a half, since he first started the challenge, it completely changed his frame of mind. Not only did he lose a lot of weight, but he's managed to completely almost eliminate all of his medication that he was taking because he got so healthy. He asked his doctor, why am I on these medications? They're like, yeah, you're right. And so now he's thriving and he couldn't be happier. So those are some really shining examples of success from the challenge. And this is what you're going to get on it. You're going to get 30 days of online habit-based programming, a daily habit tracker to keep you accountable. You're going to have 2 times Ask Me Anything. So you're going to be literally able to ask me questions. We're going to have weekly guest speakers. And these are top-notch, best in their industry speakers. We're not talking about people that don't know what they're talking about. We're talking about doctors, okay? They're going to be speaking at this challenge. We're going to get into who they are in a second. You're going to have access to my private Veterans Getting Fit AF community, which has a whole wealth of other information on there as well. You're going to get an ultimate fasting guide. You're going to get the Beast Meal Prep Guide, and you're going to get prizes and giveaways every week on this challenge. So it can be done from home with zero equipment. You don't need any kettlebells. You don't need anything. You just need a connection and the will to do better for you and your family and friends. Too easy? This program isn't just for anybody though. If you tried to get lean, lose belly fat, but have never gotten your ideal weight, this is for you. If you find it hard to stick to a diet or workout routine long enough and are lacking accountability to see the things through, this is for you. And if you want life-changing results within the next 30 days with the most effective evidence-based fat loss plan available on the market, then I want you to join. Like, it's simple. But if none of those things apply to you and you're like, oh, actually, Dave, I only need to be consistent, not eat all the time, and just find a way to actually build this in so that I can do this on a daily basis, I'll be okay. Then, you know what? More power to you. Come back to me when you've lost 20, 30, 40 pounds and just give me a thumbs up and be like, thanks, Dave. I appreciate the knowledge. But if you need the accountability, if you want to be in the community with a bunch of veterans getting after it and learning from some of the best in the industry, then you're definitely going to want to join this challenge. And if you're still not convinced, this is what you're actually going to get and what this actually is worth on a dollars and cents basis. 30 days of online programming, $280. The habit tracker is $9.99. The Ask Me Anythings, the consults are typically $75 each, so that's $150 of value. The private Facebook group access is an add-on as well. You also get the Ultimate Fasting Guide, $9.99. The Beast Meal Prep Guide, $9.99. The training lectures with the coaches, that's almost $500 of value. If you get that, if you buy that anywhere else to get time with them, that's massive, right? And then all the prizes and discounts, we're totaling up to 5,000 plus, and we're adding more as I'm recording this. So it's going to be even more than that. So it's a total value of almost $6,000 you're getting, but it's not going to cost you anywhere near that. Okay. Think about a number and how much you want to pay. And this is actually what it's going to be. Oh, wait, we've got guest speakers before we come up with that number. We got Theresa Larson, veteran. Okay. Love what she's talking about. Met her a few years ago. She is super dialed in, and you're going to learn a lot about pain and deep health and how to improve it. Mike Bledsoe, veteran and creator of the Barbell Shrug podcast years ago, and huge in the veteran space right now, developing mindset and mission after for veterans. And then Dr. Philip Ovadia, huge fan of the podcast, been on twice, and is a maverick when it comes to heart health and what you need to do in order to get yourself metabolically healthy. You're going to get to listen to all three of these on the challenge. Our supporters as well, LeBear Fitness, we love these guys. They're always supporting veteran causes, and you're going to be able to win gear from them. And Concussion Legacy Foundation, Project Enlist, they're going to be sponsoring folks to join this challenge. So we're super well supported on this. You get this all for $29. $29. Okay? That's it. $29. So 30 to lean, it's 30 days of 30 minutes of activity, and it only costs $30. And since I like numbers that are not round, 29 is the total for you to join the challenge today. But like all things, right, there's a catch. Of course there's a catch. What's the catch though? I only open this challenge up 2 times a year. Okay? Registration for this one closes on October 27th at 2300 hours Eastern. Okay? So if you want to join, if you want in on this, you got to make a move. All right? Don't sit on this. I don't know when you're watching this, but it will close and I will not open again. If you come on Monday on the 28th and be like, oh, please let me in. Too bad, so sad. You got to pull a trigger. And if you come into the community early, you get the benefit of chatting with us and the benefit contacting and being with a network of veterans that are all getting after it and looking to lose weight and become harder to kill. So I hope this training was valuable. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you are on the fence and you're still not sure, rewatch this training. Okay. Go reach out to me on socials. Ask me some questions. I'd love to see you in here. And don't forget, train hard, fight easy. See you on the 30 Lean Challenge. Peace.